Good evening everyone. Please bear with me. This is the first time I've ever had to videotape a lab. So we are just going to go with that. I hope each and every one of you are doing okay, staying healthy, and your classes are going well. I sent out an email on Tuesday. Please look at the whole thing. Just don't scan it. It's got the updated schedule, when your homework is due, when your tests are due, and the last two checkoffs. So our last two checkoffs are the range of motion, which I'm going to demonstrate tonight, and your vital signs. And after the range of motion, we'll talk about that. So let me stand here. I'm going to show you the range of motion. On your lab sheet, it has every body part range of motion. We're just going to go over two of them, and that's going to be the arm and the leg, and then I'll demonstrate on my husband. So when you're at home, you can use anybody as your patient. I want you to practice it, then videotape it and put it in the Dropbox. It can be a child, a parent, a sibling. It can be anybody that you want to use as your partner to practice on, and then go ahead and videotape it and put in the Dropbox. Don't worry about your pre-procedures or your post-procedures. So let's do the leg first, because it's the easier of the two. And there's just a few movements that you have to do. If you look on your lab sheet, there's a whole bunch, but we're just gonna break this down and simplify things, especially of how our classes are going. So with the leg, it's flexion, extension, internal rotation, external rotation, abduction, adduction. So I'll show you on the leg. So there's three things that I want you to make sure, if you get anything out of this lab, is if you are doing range of motion on your patient, you need to support whatever body part that you are doing range of motion on it. You need to move it slowly, and you need to make sure and cause no pain. If they say something hurts, don't force the body part. So with the leg, I want you to see how I'm putting my hands underneath the knee and the ankle, so I'm supporting it. It's not on top like this, especially if your patient has a history of joint problems, or if they're a bigger patient. If you try to do it up on top, you could hurt them. So you want to go underneath. So you support this extremity, and this is flexion. You bend it as far as it will go without causing pain, and you move it slowly. This is extension. Flexion, extension. Now I'm going to do internal rotation. I'm literally moving the leg in toward the middle of the body. So I've got my hands again underneath the knee and the ankle, and I'm turning it inward. So this is inward rotation, and now I'm turning it outward, and this is outward rotation. Inward, outward. And then the last movement I want you to practice is abduction, adduction. And one way to remember this is like if you have a child and it's being abducted, so remember it's being taken away, abducted, and you're bringing it back, adduction. Okay, so let's go over that one more time. Flexion, extension, internal rotation, external rotation, abduction, adduction. Now let's do the arm. There's two flexions that you can demonstrate. This is flexion and extension, and this is flexion and extension. And you can pick whichever one you want. Then abduction, adduction. Now this is the part that's a little confusing sometimes when students are demonstrating it in lab. So this is external rotation. It's not this, it's this. See how everything is straight across? External rotation, internal rotation. You can see this straight line right here. So let's go over the arm again. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Again, you can pick either one. Abduction, adduction, external rotation, internal rotation. When you're doing the videotape, I don't care which way, which items you do first. If you want to do abduction and then adduction and then external rotation, internal rotation, I don't care which order you do them in, okay? But while you're videotaping, I do want you to tell me which one you're doing. So now let's demonstrate on a patient. And again, I'm supporting the extremity. I've got my hand underneath the elbow and underneath the wrist. So this is flexion, extension, flexion, extension, abduction, and it's all the way, it's not halfway, it's all the way. This is abduction, adduction, and then external rotation. See the straight line and support, again, keep supporting the elbow and the wrist. External rotation, internal rotation, and then you can bring it to the center. So again, do range of motion on the leg and the arm. Do those movements, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, internal rotation, and external rotation. You don't need to do the pre or post procedures, just verbalize what you're doing. And remember the three things that I want you to get out of this: support the extremity, move it slowly, and don't cause pain. And then the last lab that we will have to be checked off are the vitals. Again, that information is in the email I sent out on Tuesday. You need to watch that video that I put in the discussion, and you need to make a comment on it. You can put anything like, I watched the video, this was helpful. That just lets me know that you watched the video. If you don't understand or you don't like that video and it wasn't clear, I'm okay if you go online and look at another YouTube video. There are hundreds of them out there. And all the information is in chapter 16. And remember, the 4 vitals are temperature, pulse, respiratory, and blood pressure, okay? So please read over those. After you've read the information, watch the video, you need to start practicing. And you'll need to do 5 vitals and have them written down on the lab sheet that you printed out at the beginning of the year. So you'll need 3 of those lab sheets. You printed out 1 of them, so you'll need to print out 3 more. You need to do 5 vitals and then put them in the Dropbox by the date. That's your actual lab. Again, you can use the same people over and over, or if you are still able to work, you can do them at work and take somebody's vital signs. If not, you can use your children, again, a sibling, your parents, whoever is around you right now. And if you have a smaller nuclear family, and say you have a child, a husband, and that's okay if you need to practice them 5 times. Any way that you can practice and get them on the sheet and drop them in. We're going very versatile on this. So this is not to stress you out. And if you have any questions on that, please again email me. And just remember that I'm thinking about y'all. Be safe, wash your hands. Again, I can't stress enough to look at the email that I sent out. I hope, again, everybody's doing well, and if need be, I can send out another video, and I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.